Anon. Anon. Are you guys ready to learn about taxes? Anon. Are you ready to get fucked by the government? I hope you're all ready. We're only here for the adults. Now, we are adults here, and we file our taxes. Yes. Let me also make this. Yes. Taxes. Taxes. Okay. USA.gov/file-taxes. How to file your federal taxes. Federal tax income returns are due on April 18, 2022. Oh, it'll be fine. I'll be fine. For most of the country, in April 19, 2022, if you live in Maine or Massachusetts, ignore the year. Learn how to file federal income return or how you can get an extension. Tax filing deadline for all taxpayers except for those who live in Maine and Massachusetts. The deadline for filing federal income tax is April 18, 2022 instead of April 15. It's because Emancipation Day holiday in the District of Columbia. In Maine and Massachusetts, the federal tax deadline is April 19, 2022 due to Patriots Day holiday. Taxes in Wonderland are 6.9% for taxes. These deadlines do not apply to state and local tax returns. To make sure you file those in time, make sure the tax filing due dates in your state. If you owe money and did not file and pay your taxes in time, you'll be charged interest and a late payment penalty. Oh no! If you will be getting a refund, there is no penalty for filing a late return. Oh yes! File a federal income tax return. The IRS began accepting and processing federal tax returns on January 24th, 2022. To get your tax return started, you'll first need to find out how much money you made in 2021. Yeah, get fucked in the ROSC. When you need to decide whether to take the standard deduction or itemize your return. Finally, you'll need to submit everything by April 19, 2022. If you live in Maine or Massachusetts, or April 18 for 2022 for the rest of the country. Steps to file a tax return. Gather your paperwork, including a W-2 form from each employer, other earnings and interest statements, 1099 and 1099 INT forms. Oh my god, is an INT INTF. From the Myers-Briggs. Hashtag relatable. Receipts for charitable donations and medical and business expenses if you are itemizing your tax return. I heard SC or borrow tax. Here you go. Thank you. You've paid your taxes. Number 2. Choose your filing status.
Nani sore?
I heard SC are part of taxes, so here you go.
Filing status is based on whether you're married. The percentage you pay toward household expenses also affect your filing status. Number 3. Decide how you want to file your taxes. The IRS recommends using tax preparation software to e-file for the easiest and most accurate return. Number 4. Determine if you are taking the standard deduction or itemizing your return. Number 5. If you owe money, learn how to make a tax payment, including applying for a payment plan. Watching non-tax ASMR while I look over my share portfolio. So hell yes, Sarah Nyan. Sarah Nyan knows what's up. He knows how to get into the ROSC. Number 6. File your taxes by April 19, 2022. If you live in Maine or Massachusetts, or April 18, 2022 for the rest of the country. Find out how to check the status of your tax refund. The C word, economic impact payments, EIP, and unemployment benefits. Don't worry about the D. It's okay. It's a bit too late, but it's never too late to plan for the future. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, you may have received unemployment benefits or the economic impact payment EIP depending on your eligibility. The IRS does not count the EIP as a taxable income, so you do not need to report it on your 2021 tax return. Check to be sure you receive your stimulus payment if you are eligible. You can claim missing money from the EIP by filing for a recovery debate credit on your 2021 tax return. Missing EIP money will be issued through either tax refunds or lower tax bills. Back taxes aren't as scary as you think. If you talk to the IRS plan, you negotiate for an affordable payment plan. Thank you, Sawanya. I forgot where I left off. Check to be sure you receive your stimulus payment.
This is Frelden Ring. I was trying to calculate taxes, but I couldn't remember if you play on console or PC. It is on sale on Steam, plus I'm not good at math, so here you go.
Aww, thank you for the help. It's on sale, yo, bug. Wait, yo, BRB real quick. BRB real quick. Let me just add that in, you know. I just, you know, let me just, just kind of, yeah. Let's see, you pay. Let me just add that right in. Okay. Are super chats tax deductible? I think so. Oh, it's on sale. Is that still full price? Oh well, still good. I can still buy it. Okay. Oh, amazing taxes. Oh, they are not on sale. That person, the corporal. Don't worry, you sent me enough, Mateo. Arigato. You're the cook. Add more onto your taxes, bro. Thank you, Kusa-chama. Yeah, we just don't need to pay our taxes.
Nani sore?
Here to add on to more of your taxes problem.
But it's also a good question. Are super tax deductible or anything? Because I need to know that too. Maybe we'll read that next. Yeah. If you lost your job and qualify for compensation, the unemployment benefit payments you received are considered taxable income. You should have received Form 1099-G, which will show you the amount of unemployment funds you received during the year. Use this form to report income on unemployment benefits on your federal tax return. Ooh. Protect yourself from tax-related identity theft. Tax ID theft occurs when someone steals your personal information to file a tax return using your personal data. Usually, the fraudulent tax filer will use your social security number to file your return in order to collect a refund. To protect yourself from tax ID theft, you can obtain a 6-digit identity protection PIN, otherwise known as the IP PIN, from the IRS. IP PINs are known only to you and the IRS, so the IRS is able to confirm your identity when you file your return. Learn more about the IP PIN works and how to apply. Contact the IRS for filing questions. For the fastest information, the IRS recommends finding answers to your questions online. You can also call the IRS, but the wait time to speak with a representative may be very long. This option works best for less complex questions. Woo! I would never clickbait you guys. What's in the title is what you guys get. I promise a tax ASMR. Extension to file your tax return. If you can't file your federal income tax return by the due date, you may be able to get a 6-month extension from the Internal Revenue Services, IRS. This does not grant you more time to pay for taxes. To avoid possible penalties, estimate and pay your taxes owed by the deadline of April 19, 2022. If you live in Maine or Massachusetts, or April 18, 2022 for the rest of the country. Ooh. Educational ASMR. Next page. This is Better Money Habits from the Bank of America. 6 steps for first-time tax filers. Filing your federal income tax return can seem overwhelming, but you can tackle tax season one step at a time and avoid rookie mistakes. Don't be a noob when filing taxes, while you take advantage of money-saving opportunities. Number 1, keep an eye on your income. You need to file a tax return if you meet or surpass certain levels of income during the year. If you are employed, look at your pay stub for the year-to-date income. If you have more than one job, be sure to add up your income from all your employers. Remember to include income from other sources too, such as money you make on rental property, anything you sell, investments, or interest. This is a trap from the IRS of you all not paying escape while you still can. I swear, this is not a trap. You guys can trust me. Believe in me. Just focus on my voice. Doing my tax at 3, I've gone wrong, gone sexual.
This is a trap from the IRS of all you not paying. Escape as you still can.
Number 2, save the right paperwork all year long. Stay on top of tax-related paperwork throughout the year. It will make your life easier during tax season. You might want to keep receipt for things like charitable donations, work-related expenses, and medical bills, or other items from step 4. You may also want to keep statements from student loans or investments in any grants or fellowships. Having these handy and organized can help you determine whether to itemize and make the process easier. You should keep your paperwork after you file too. The IRS recommends keeping records for at least 3 years. 3 years. Can VTubers count a business expense? I think so. To be honest, I did not know how to file my taxes. I'm learning this with you. I've been avoiding my taxes for a long time now. I've been getting a lot of help, and I never remember anything. Maybe ask the actual question to someone young. At the moment, the current tax advice is for America. We will move on to other countries as time goes on, possibly. Now let's see. Number 3, watch your income documents to arrive. You should receive forms about how much income you've earned from your employers and other income sources in February. Oh my god, what a pain. What a pain. Probably not all countries, because that would take forever. Ever! If you are a full-time employee, you'll receive a Form W-2 detailing your earnings, as well as which taxes were withheld. If you work freelance or on a contract, you may receive a Form 1099 NEC detailing what you earn. You may also receive documents showing dividends or interest earned on investments. Excuse me. Forms 1099 div or 1099 int, the hashtag relatable one, for example. Or student loan interest you paid, Form 1098E. If you're a college student or have a dependent who is, you receive Form 1098T. That shows how much you pay in tuition, as well as any amount you receive from grants and fellowships to help you figure out deductions and credit related to education expenses. Oh my god. Have I filed these forms before? I can't remember. Oh no. I don't know what to do. These are a lot of new words to me. Oh, I'm so scared, you guys. I don't want to file taxes next year. I don't know what to do. Quick tip. You can't file your tax return until you receive a Form W-2 or Form 1099 from every place you worked during the year. When it comes time to file, you will use those documents to fill out Form 1040, the IRS form for individual income taxes. I mean, like, it's does that mean that I don't need to include it if I don't receive the forms? Yeah, this is Wonderland. Wonderland's different, right? I'm paying the taxes. I can hardly do taxes for myself. I can't do that for you guys. I mean, I'm like giving his taxes to ASMR. No. It really filed on me. It's different. Wonderland's more strict, you know. Wonderland, I don't know. Right now I live with you guys. Wonderland didn't need to do taxes. We just steal from people. Now I see why Anon is doing this stream. It was a deal from IRS. Everyone just had your money here. Even the game on internet. No, IRS. I swear. I definitely did it. I swear. You have to do taxes in Wonderland and how long?
Now I see why Anon is doing this stream. It was a deal from the IRS. Everyone, just hide your money and yourself in a cave with internet.
Yeah, but it's because I'm not used to the culture here, okay? Wonderland would just steal from people and call it a day. We don't need to do all these taxes shit, man. Yo, you humans are weird. We learn tax division and now we're learning the proper tax information. Number 4, learn which credits and deductions you can take. Getting a sense of which credits and deductions you may be eligible for can help you pull together the proper documentation. Here are a few to consider. Saver's credit. If you are not a full-time student and are not claimed as a dependent, you may be eligible for tax credit if you contribute to a retirement plan. Oh no. I don't have a retirement plan. The amount of credit depends on your filing status and adjusted gross income. For 2022 tax year, if your filing status is single, you may be eligible for if your adjusted gross income is $34,000 or less. If you're married and are filing jointly, you may be eligible if your adjusted gross income is $68,000 or less. Why is it not $69,000? Might as well, it's a married couple, right? I think it's 69.
Hi IRS, sorry I haven't been paying my taxes, here you go.
Thank you, Panda Man. I accept your taxes. The IRS also says thank you too. I know, right? What retirement plan? We're working abroad ourselves. Really? Double taxation? Never pay your taxes here from this. Oh my god. Thank you, Thomas. Don't worry. I also support, I did support Hello, salute for Thomas. Thank you, Thomas.
Thomas Rio. Never pay your taxes, my final message. Goodbye.
Never pay your taxes. Now the time it will be involved. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you very much. This money will definitely not go toward taxes and will go toward the evasion. Now you know I work for the government. I can bill you out your card. Oh my god, thank you, Omega Zen. I need that. I need that. If I get trapped, please help me. Oh wait, IRS, do not look at me. I mean, I did not support tax evasion whatsoever. I do my taxes like a normal person. It's just like, you know, I'm just new to like the world. I'm new to the 3D space. I swear. Yeah, it's, you know, just like don't mind me. I'm just a noob. Yeah. Your taxes are hard, you know. Like this is what I'm learning. I'm helping out, you know. Everyone gets tired. Yeah. Yeah. Don't mind me. There's nothing here. Nothing going on here. Where were we at? Let's see. However, these numbers are subject to change in future tax years. To be honest, even though I'm reading all these information about taxes, I do not understand anything. Yeah. Student loan interest. You can deduct up to $2,500 in interest payments, depending on your modified adjusted gross income. I thought you were... No, I'm learning. This is the first time reading it too, you guys. This is my first time, and I am realizing a lot of different things that I did not know. Yeah, I'm a cult leader from Wonderland. I just can't expect you to understand it. I take my way, give it back mostly. Oh no, right? Man, they be doing things. Did you not even practice refresh? No. I just pulled them up. I'm just gonna learn it along with you guys. Let's see. Freelance expenses. If you are self-employed, you may be able to claim deduction for work-related expenses, such as industry subscription and office. Oh, really? That means I can get get paid for it, right? What does that mean? You know, maybe I should do like a little definitions page. Let's see. Number 5. Mind your deadline. Having your tax document arrive in February or January, February gives you about 2 months to prepare your tax return by the usual date of April 15. Plan the date and you'll start your return. Make sure it's early enough that you can plan another session or 2 in case you need to spend time locating more documents or getting help. In general, experts recommending tax returns earlier rather than later. The earlier you file, the better your chances of avoiding tax-related identity theft, a crime that's on the rise. And that is not the only thing on the rise. Ooh. Plus, if you're owed a refund, you will get it sooner. Quick tip. Think you need some extra time to file? Generally, you can file an extension giving you an extra 6 whole months to submit your return, usually in October. But if you owe the government money, you still need to pay your tax liability in full by the due date, typically April 15. Oh no! To avoid penalties and interest. And if you can't afford to pay what you owe all at once, the IRS offers payment plans. Ooh. Number 6. How to file your tax return. There are several options for preparing and filing your tax return. Learn about each so you can make the right choice for you. April 15, IRS foot lettuce. We heard you made by now. You want some of it? Tax-free file. If your adjusted gross income, this is a specific tax term which basically means your income minus certain tax deductions is less than a certain limit. The IRS has free tax prep software that can make preparing your tax return easier with features that help you figure out any deductions or credit you might be able to take. IRS online forms. If your adjusted gross income is higher than the limit, the IRS has electronic versions of the paper forms that will do the math for you. They only offer basic guidance and won't give you the same kind of help figure out which deductions or credits you might be able to take. Tax preparation software. If you want a bit more guidance, you can pay a fee and use these online tools, which are available through several providers. They'll walk you through how to prepare your tax return and help you figure out any deductions or credits you might be eligible for. Ooh, TurboTax. Tax preparer. If you realize that you need one-on-one help from an expert, you can go to a tax preparation firm or an accountant. Make sure you work with someone you can trust. You will be giving this person access to a lot of sensitive personal information, so choose a tax professional carefully. The IRS has a directory of verified tax preparers that may help you find a verified tax preparer in your area. While this doesn't guarantee their trustworthiness, it's a good place to start. Ooh! Quick tip. Remember, you may need to prepare and file state or local tax returns in addition to your federal return. Ah! Wow! Let's see. A little review of TurboTax. It is lit AF fam. 5 stars from Tortillas. January 16, 2017. As a millennial, no one ever taught me how to do my taxes. I guess someone figured I wouldn't need to know how to do or understand them. But as a millennial, one thing I know how to do is work an iPhone. So I fired it up and crank out my taxes with TurboTax. Kami-sama your advice, arigato gozaimasu. Anytime, don't touch the mustache, Tony.
Kami-sama, for the advice. Arigato gozaimasu.
Gozaimasu. Literally all of my questions were answered at the touch of a question in blue, exactly like the one I had already formulated in my head. Just like it read in my mind. And since it read my mind, I was able to get the answers I needed and finish my entire return in about 15 minutes. If you don't have an iPhone, you are screwed. Which gave me plenty of time to check my Facebook and Instagram and get to posting statuses about how I just finished doing my tax return. But seriously, if you're like me, 20-something, confused, overwhelmed by debt and stress and problems our parents never had, you really need to use TurboTax and turn a stressful thing into something you feel like a confident, capable human again. Hashtag not sponsored by TurboTax, but TurboTax, hit me up. I can be the face of all taxes. Just saying. Now let's learn how to do taxes in Australia. How to file taxes in Australia. Little shout out for virtual Australia. The ato.gov.au Australian Government Australian Taxation Office. Oh, what is this? Stop trying to speak to me. Okay. How to lodge your tax return. Okay, now tell it to how else. Let's not talk about that. Okay, let's listen to my voice. And we're gonna learn how to file taxes in Australia. Maybe how to. Well, if you gotta fight an emu, then I feel like you're gonna be on a losing end. Check what options you have to lodge your tax return yourself or with help from someone else. Preparing your tax return. We'll figure out Osaka Temple later. A tax return is a form you complete online, on paper, or get a tax agent or our tax help program to help you with. Your tax return that tells us how much money, income, you earn. If you are claiming any deductions, we use this information to check if you have paid enough taxes or too much. need to pay Medicare levy or surcharge, can get any tax offsets. For example, the low and medium income tax offsets. If you pay more tax than you need to, we will refund the extra amount to you. This is known as a tax refund. If you don't pay enough tax, then you may receive a tax bill. Your tax return income year from 1 July to 30 June. If you need to complete a tax return, you must lodge it and engage with a tax agent by the 31st of October. Tax officers are so hot. When you lodge a tax return, you include how much money you earn, income, and any expenses you can claim as a deduction. Ooh, October! Lodgement options. If you need to lodge a tax return, you can choose from the following options depending on your circumstances. Lodge your tax return online with MyTax. Prepare and lodge your own tax return online. It is quick, safe, secure way to lodge. Most process in 2 weeks. 2 weeks! Lodge your tax return with a registered tax agent. Use a registered tax agent to prepare and lodge your tax return. They are the only people that can charge a fee. A fee! Lodge a paper tax return. You can use the paper tax return to lodge your tax return by mail. Most refund issues within 50 business days. 50 business days! Find out about how to lodge in specific circumstances. Lodging your first tax return. Find out what you need to do if you are preparing and lodging a tax return for the first time. Lodge your tax return before leaving Australia. Find out if you can lodge your tax return early by paper if you are leaving Australia permanently. Lodge your tax return from outside Australia. Find out how to lodge if you are outside Australia when your tax return is due. Lodge a prior year tax return. Find out how to lodge if you need to lodge a tax return for a prior year. Lodge a non-lodgement advice. Check what you need to do. You don't need to lodge a tax return. After you lodge, you can check the progress of your tax return using your self-serve option. Self-serve. We also have help and support to lodge your tax return available for eligible individual. Due days for your tax return. If you're lodging your own tax return, you need to lodge it by the 31st of October each year. If the 31st of October falls on a weekend, the due date to lodge your tax return is the next business day after 31st of October. If you choose to use the services of a registered tax agent, they will generally have special lodgement schedules. And can lodge returns for clients later than 31st of October. If you're having difficulties meeting your tax obligations or are unable to lodge by the 31st of October, contact us as soon as possible. As soon as possible. If you lodge your tax return and results in a tax bill, payment is due by the 21st of November. Even if you lodge between 1 July and 31 October. After the 31 October. 31 October! If you miss the due date, if you miss the due date, it is important to lodge as soon as you can. If you expect a tax bill, don't delay lodging. The due date for payment when you lodge your own tax return is the 21st of November. Even if you lodge late, interest will apply to any amount you owe after the 21st of November. The 21st of November. Ooh. You didn't watch me. If I'm free to pay taxes, I have no idea. You will find that out eventually.
Nani sore?
You can lodge this, poop.
No, never. Never. There is no poop tax that does not exist. You can trust me. If you're finding it hard to pay on time, you can request help with paying, such as a payment plan. Online for debts of 100,000 or less. You would need a MyGov account linked to ATO. Buy automatic phone service for a debt of $100,000 or less. By phone, contact us for debts over $100,000 so we can work with you to tailor a payment plan to your circumstances. I do not have a poop tax. Let's see. According to my demographics, it seems like the Philippines is up next. How to file taxes in the Philippines. Let's go. Loading in. The Republic of the Philippines Bureau of Internal Revenue. BUR.gov.pa. Income tax description. Income tax is a tax on a person's income. Emoluments. Profits arising from property, advice of profession, conduct of trade or business, or on the pertinent items of gross income specified in Tax Code 1997 Tax Code. As amended, less deductions, if any, authorized for such type of income by the Tax Code as amended or other special law. Do the IRS pay taxes too? I have no idea. Let's look that up actually. Do the IRS pay taxes too? Yes. It looks like so. It seems like everyone earning a certain amount of money will have to pay for taxes. Who are required to file income tax returns? Excuse me. individuals. Resident citizens receiving income from sources within or outside the Philippines. Employees deriving purely compensation income from 2 or more employers concurrently or successively at any time during the taxable year. There's no poop here. Employees deriving purely compensation income regardless of the amount.
Dot.
Dot. Whether from a single or several employers during the calendar year, and the income tax of which has not been withheld correctly, i.e. tax due is not equal to tax withheld, resulting to collectible or refundable return. Self-employed individuals receiving income from the conduct of trade or business and or practice of profession. Individuals deriving mixed income, i.e. compensation income, and income from the conduct of trade or business and or practice of profession. Submit yourself to the government. Obey the government. Obey the laws of Wonderland. Give up on your country. Join Wonderland. Individuals deriving from other non-business, non-professional related income, in addition to compensation income, not otherwise subject to a final tax. Individuals receiving purely compensation income from a single employer, although the income of which has been correctly withheld, but whose spouse is not entitled to substitute filing. Non-residents receiving income from sources within the Philippines. Aliens, whether resident or not, receiving income from sources within the Philippines. You can join Wonderland and give up your country. Join Wonderland, where you don't need to do all these taxes. Join Wonderland, no taxes, only stealing.
Dot.
Non-individuals. Corporations, including partnerships, no matter how creative or organized. Domestic corporations receiving income from sources within and outside the Philippines. Foreign corporations receiving income and sources from the Philippines. Estates and trusts engaged in trade or business. I live in Wonderland, the IRS can't get me. Annual income tax.
Dot.
Annual income tax for individuals earning purely compensation income, including non-business / non-profession related income. Form 1700, annual income tax for individuals earning purely compensation income, including non-business / non-profession related income. Documentary requirements. Taxes are so boring. Documentary requirements. 1. Certificate of income tax withheld on compensation. Form 2316. Number 2. Duly approved tax debit memo if applicable. Oh, Lua! Lua! Hello! Hello, everybody! Hello, Raider. Hello, everyone. what's up? We're doing taxes here. Oh, yes. We are all learning how to do very adult taxes together. I saw you were doing a 45 songs for your stream. I wish I could got a chance to see it too. We are now handling taxes from the Philippines. We did one for North America and Australia already. If you're under 18, please exit.
Nani sore?
Dot.
Hello, ready to do your... Yes. Wow, why are you guys in this bed? A whole bunch of poop right now. Yes, this is the tax. Yeah. I'm sorry for those who are in NA in Australia who just came by. Unfortunately, we already done their readings for it. Now we're going to the Philippines. Number 4. Tax return previously filed and proof of payment. If filing an amended return for the same taxable year. Procedures. 1. For electronic filing and payment system, EFPS filer. This stream might be a very boring one, so feel free to do whatever or fall asleep. A. Fill up applicable field in Burr form number 1700. B. Pay electronically by clicking the Proceed to Payment button and fill up the required field in the EFBS payment form. I wonder if they are like first-person shooters type of payment forms. Click Submit button. Receive payment confirmation from EFBS AAB apps for successful e-filing and e-payment. Taxation are too stressful to sleep to. Number 2 for non-EFBS filer. A. Fill up applicable fields in the Burr form number 1700 in the downloaded electronic Bureau of Internal Revenue form eBurr form package. B. Print the duly accomplished Burr form number 1700. Proceed to the nearest authorized agent bank app under the jurisdiction of the Revenue District Office where you are registered and present the duly accomplished Burr Form 1700 together with the required attachments and your payments. Yes, I want people to fall asleep while it is being held hostage. At least then, you can have the comfort of ignorance. The IRS is a pretty frightening fella. That's why you should join Wonderland. Wonderland, where you do not have to pay for taxes. Taxes! E. Receive your copy of duly stamped and validated form from the teller of AAB, Revenue Collection Officer, duly authorized city or municipal treasurer. Number 3. For manual filer. Fill up the Burr form number 1700 in triplicate copies. Triplicate copies! Please, please, please. Municipal. B. Proceed to the Revenue District Office where you are registered to any tax filing center established by the Burr and present the duly accomplished Burr Form 1700 together with the required attachment. Yo, you saw me at CrunchyCon today. Ayo. Hope you enjoyed the panel. Thank you for watching. C. Receive your copy of duly stamped and validated form from RDO Tax Filing Center representative. It was hella funny. I am glad. I was worried. I was so worried and nervous. I shared typically because of it. Is it will pile more taxes on you? Is this where Virgo is where he doesn't need to pay taxes? Please so you're going to check your control stamp, please. Don't worry. I think the panels are also live streamable. If you ever want to check it out, check it out. Although I thought it was pretty cringe, so I will not check it out. Deadline. On or before the 15th day of April of each year, covering taxable income for the calendar year 2018 and thereafter. Oh, this is a really long page. Do not check it out? No. Oh no! Do not check it out. Maybe don't check it out. It's fine. It's fine. Your little Reddit files taxes for a few years. Hashtag relatable. Don't check it out. Don't do it. I'm cringe. No, I should take after Sawanya. I'll be cringe and I'll be free. We're checking out these nuts. And these amazing annual income tax for individuals, estates, and trusts. Burr Form 1701, annual income tax return individuals, estates, and trusts. Documentary requirements. Number 1. Certificate of income tax withheld on compensation. Burr Form 2316 if applicable. Number 2. Certificate of income payments not subjected to withholding tax. Burr Form 2304 if applicable. Number 3. Certificate of credible tax withheld at source Burr Form 2307 if applicable. Number 4. Duly approved tax debit memo if applicable. Number 5. Proof of foreign tax credit if applicable. Number 6. Income tax return previously filed and proof of payment if filing an amended return for the same year. Number 7. Account information form AIF or the Certificate of the Independent Certified Public Accountancy SCPA and the audited financial statements if the gross annual sales, earning, receipts, or output exceeded 3 million pesos. 3 million pesos! This is the best tax letter you ever listened to. Thank you! We are here to educate. There is no certified poop analysis here. None at all. Bureaucracy way. Number 8. account information form or financial statements not necessarily audited by the independent CPA. If the gross annual sales, earning receipts, or output did not exceed 3 million pesos and is subject to graduate income tax rate under Section 24A2 lowercase a. Number 9. Proof of prior year's access tax credit if applicable. But not silly. Procedure for the EFBS filer. A. Fill up applicable fields in BUR form number 1701. 1701! B. Pay electronically by clicking the Proceed to Payment button and fill up the required fields in the EFBS payment form. Then submit and click Submit button. Excuse me. No. C. Receive payment confirmation from EFBS AABs for successful e-filing and e-payment. Fill up. 2. Non-EFBS filer. A. Fill up fields in the BUR form 1701 in the downloaded electronic Bureau of Internal Revenue form, e-BUR form package. B. Print the duly accomplished BUR form number 1701. C. Proceed to the nearest authorized agent bank, AAB, under the jurisdiction of the Revenue District Office, where you are registered, and present the duly accomplished BUR form 1701, together with the required attachments and your payment. D. In places where there are no AABs, proceed to the Revenue Collection Officer or authorized city or municipal treasurer located within the Revenue District Office, where you are registered, and present the duly accomplished BUR form 1701, together with the required attachments and your payments. E. Receive your copy of the duly stamped and validated form from the teller of AAB's Revenue Collection Officer / duly authorized city or municipal treasurer. 3. The manual filer. A. Fill up the BUR form number 1701 in triplicate copy. 3. Proceed to Revenue District Office, where you are registered, to tax filing center established by BUR, and present the duly accomplished BUR form 1701 together with the required attachment. C. Receive your copy of duly stamped and validated form from the RDO / tax filing center representative. Deadline. Final adjustment return or annual income return on or before the 15th day of April of each year, covering income for the calendar year 2018 and thereafter. Let's do an ara. Wait, no, I don't want to do it for this one. This one's kind of hard. I'll do it for the next country. Wait, how long is this? Wait, this is so long. Okay, let's move on to Indonesia. Oopsie. Don't mind that. Nothing happened. Don't listen to that. It's fine. How to file taxes in Indonesia. We'll do an ara tax return for this one. simple tax guide for Americans in Indonesia. Taxes for expats. U.S. expat taxes, Indonesia. At the Taxes for Expats, we have been preparing U.S. tax returns for U.S. citizens and green card holders working in Indonesia for over 8 years. Our client hail from all parts of the country, Jakarta and Surabaya, Bandung and Bekasi, Medan and Tangerang. As a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you are legally required to file a U.S. tax return each year, regardless of whether you're ready to pay your taxes in your residence country. We offer professional tax services. That means we figure out the best and most optimal way to file your tax return and avail you to all possible exclusions and deductions. But just as importantly, avoid errors that would allow IRS to disallow your return and levy the fines and penalties on top. You can also do them yourself. Not that we recommend it, but for more information, see IRS. The expatriate foreign earned income exclusion can only be claimed if you file your tax returns on a timely basis. It is not automatic if you fail to file and can even be lost. We have many clients living in Indonesia and know how to integrate your U.S. taxes to local income taxes you pay. Any Indonesian income tax you already pay can be claimed as against the tax liability on your U.S. return on the same income. As an expat living abroad, you get an automatic extension to file until June 15th, followed by the calendar year end. You cannot file using the calendar year as is standard in Indonesia for U.S. tax purposes. You must, however, pay any tax that may be due by April 15th in order to avoid penalties and interest. You can get an extension to file if you request it until October 15th. There are other forms which must be filed. If you have foreign bank or financial accounts, foreign investments company, or own 10% or more of a foreign corporation or foreign partnership. If you do not file these forms or file them late, the IRS can impose penalties of $10,000 or more per form. These penalties are due regardless of whether you owe income taxes or not. We have helped hundreds of expats around the world to catch up with their past U.S. taxes because they have failed to file U.S. tax returns for many years. This is, in fact, our specialty, and we offer a 10% discount to clients who wish to file multiple tax returns at once and get in full compliance with the IRS. Work with a recognized expert to help you prepare for your American tax return. We can also provide tax planning and advice with other expatriate tax. We look forward to working with you. Individual income tax rates in Indonesia. Below, we include information on the Indonesian tax system for the American expatriates. Individual income tax rates in Indonesia are progressive up to 30% as follows. An additional 20% tax is imposed on individuals other than non-tax residents who did not possess tax identification number NPWP. Allowable tax deductions. In determining the annual tax income of an individual, the following may be deducted from the gross income. Occupational support, 5% of gross income, maximum up to $6 million. Pension, 5% of gross income up to a maximum of 2.4 million. Non-taxable income for a taxpayer of 15.84 million. Non-taxable income additional for a married taxpayer 1.32 million. Non-taxable income additional for each lineal family member related by blood marriage who is full dependent to a maximum of 1.32 million each. A married female employee is only allowed non-taxable income for herself unless she has a certificate from the local authorities stating that her husband does not work. Non-resident individuals are subject to a final tax of 20%, where the payment represents compensation for work performed in Indonesia regardless of where paid. Lump sum pension payments and severance pay on individual residents are subject to a final tax on the gross amount of the following rates. However, pension payments made to non-resident individuals are taxed under Article 26 of Income Tax Law at the rate of 20% on the gross amount. Where home leave or education costs are reimbursed, the amount of reimbursement is taxable in full on the employee. Note that food and drink provided at the working area by the employer to the employees are not subject to tax but deductible for the employer. Indonesians are taxed on a worldwide income. Non-residents are only taxed on income derived from Indonesia. An individual will be resident of Indonesia if they are present in Indonesia for more than 183 days or reside in Indonesia during the fiscal year and intend to stay in Indonesia. Certain tax treaties modify the above rules. Filing taxes in family is considered a single economic unit. Hence, joint filing is required. Separate filing is allowed only if there is a prenuptial agreement between the husband and wife. Taxable income. Taxable income of individual includes profits from a business, employment income, and capital gains. Capital gains. Capital gains derived by the individual are taxed as income at the normal rates. Gains on share in Indonesia are taxed at 0.1% final tax of the transaction value. An additional tax of 0.5% applies to the share value of founder shares at the time of an initial public offering. Gains on disposal of land and or taxings are taxed at 5% final tax of the transaction value. Corporate income tax rate in Indonesia. Indonesia company tax rate is 25%. A company will be considered taxable in Indonesia if it is a presence and conduct business in that country. Resolution of this question depends on whether the entity is a permanent establishment in Indonesia. This term is widely defined to include a place of management, branch, representative office, office building, agent, factory or workshop, construction, or mining site. Where such a presence exists, the permanent establishment is taxable on a worldwide income. Where similar businesses as that carried on by the permanent establishments are conducted in Indonesia, care must be taken to ensure that the force of attraction principle does not result in that business income being taxed in a permanent establishment. Company tax is payable by monthly installments. The collection of tax from interest, royalties, rentals, dividends, and professional service fees, technical and management service fees, construction service fees, installation service fees, repair and maintenance service fees is by way of withholding tax. Where the recipient is a tax resident of Indonesia, the tax withheld is taken into account. In determining the company's final tax liability, except for the tax of interest from bank and space rentals, which are treated as final tax, where the recipient is not a resident. The tax withheld represents a final tax. Under the Income Tax Law Number 36, year 2008, which took effect from the 1st of January 2010, corporations are taxed at a single rate of 25%. Corporations with an annual gross income of Rp 50 billion are entitled for a tax discount of 50% of the standard tax rate on taxable income derived from portion gross income up to Rp 4.8 billion. As for the public companies, corporate tax deduction at 5% will be granted when meeting the following requirements. Number 1. Minimum listing requirement is 40%. Number 2. The minimum public ownership is 300 individuals, where each individual holds less than 5% of paid-in shares. And number 3. The above two conditions must be fulfilled in at least in 6 months, 183 days in the tax year. Yes, this will be archived. Don't worry, I got you. Resident. A company is a resident if it is established and domiciled in Indonesia. Basis. Resident companies are taxed worldwide income. Non-resident companies are taxed only on income source in Indonesia, including income attributable to the permanent establishment in the country. Taxable income. Taxable net income is defined as assessable income less taxable expenses. Taxations of dividends. Dividends paid by domestic corporate taxpayers to the resident are subject to 15% withholding tax, and the payment represents an advance payment of tax liability. See also participation exemption. Oh yes, your dividends. Capital gains. Capital gains are taxable as ordinary income, and capital losses are tax deductible. Losses may be carried forward for 5 years following the year the loss was incurred. This period may be extended for 10 years for selected industries and operations in remote area. Losses cannot be carried back. I see bitcoins are also interested in taxes. Oh, what a naughty little thing they are. Losses may be carried forward for 5 years following the year the loss was incurred. This period may be extended for 10 years for selected industries and for operations in remote areas. Losses cannot be carried back. Oh yes, a crypto bot. How fitting. Surtax? No. Alternative minimum tax? No. Foreign tax credit? Resident companies deriving income from foreign sources are entitled to an unilateral tax credit with respect to foreign tax paid on the income. The credit is limited to the amount of Indonesian tax otherwise payable on the relevant foreign income. Participation exemption. Dividend received or derived by a resident company from a participation in another Indonesian limited liability company are exempt from tax. The recipient hold at least 25% of the shares of the payer, and dividends are from retained earnings. Holding company regime? No. Tax incentives. Tax incentives are available to entities with capital investments in certain improved industry sectors, or those operating in certain geographic locations. Incentive includes 30% tax investment allowance, 5% per year, accelerated depreciation carry forward of losses up to 10 years, and a reduced withholding tax of 10% on dividend paid to non-residents. An income tax reduction of 5% may be available to companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange if certain conditions are satisfied. Withholding tax. Dividends paid by domestic corporate taxpayer to a non-resident are subject to a 20% withholding tax, which is considered a final tax. Tax treaties may reduce the rate, but to take advantage of a reduced rate, the payee must obtain a certificate of tax domicile from the tax authorities in the country of residence and be the beneficial owner of the dividends. The withholding tax on dividends paid to resident individuals is a 10% final tax. Interest paid to non-residents is subject to 20% withholding tax unless the rate is reduced by an applicable tax treaty. Interest paid by domestic taxpayer to a resident is subject to 15% withholding tax, and the payment represents an advance payment of tax liability. Royalties. A 20% withholding tax is imposed on royalties admitted abroad, unless the tax is reduced under an applicable tax treaty and the recipient submits a tax residence certificate from a tax authority of its country of residence. For tax purposes, royalties refer to any charge for the use of property or know-how in Indonesia. Royalties paid by domestic taxpayer to a resident are subject to 15% withholding tax, and the payment represents an advance payment of tax liability. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, everyone. Just embrace it. Embrace that 20%. The withholding tax on domestic payments for technical management and consulting services and rentals, except for land and building rentals, varies from 1.5% to 4.5%.
Excuse me.
Branch profit tax. Permanent establishments are subject to a 20% branch profit tax on after-tax profits. This rate may be reduced under a tax treaty. Other taxes on corporations. Capital duty, no, but various registration fees apply. Payroll tax. Employers are required to withhold, remit, and report income tax on employment income of their employees. Real property tax. Land and building tax is payable annually on land, buildings, and permanent structures. The rate is typically not more than 0.5% of the value of the property, although higher rates apply to certain high-value housing and large estates. Social Security. Employers must contribute to Indonesia's social security system if they employ 10 or more individuals or maintain a payroll expense of IDR 1 million per month. The employer contribution rate for old age compensation is 3.7%. Stamp duty. Certain documents are subject to stamp duty at a nominal amount of IDR 3,000 or IDR 6,000. Transfer tax. A land and building transfer duty of 5% is payable when a person or a company obtains rights to land or a building with a value higher than IDR 60 million. Certain exception reduction apply, including transfer of connection with a merger. Other sales of shares listed on Indonesian Stock Exchange are subject to a final tax of 0.1% of the transaction value. An additional tax of 0.5% applies to the share value of founder shares in the time of an initial public offering. Anti-avoidance rules. Transfer pricing, related party transactions or dealings with affiliate companies, including profit sharings by multinational companies, must be carried out in a commercially justifiable way and on the arm's length basis. Documentation is required. Thin capitalization. Indonesia does not have specific rules on thin capitalizations, but a general law authorizes the Ministry of Finance to determine the debt-to-equity ratio of companies for tax calculation purposes. Control foreign companies. The Ministry of Finance is authorized to determine when a dividend is deemed to be derived from a foreign company established in countries where Indonesian resident taxpayers hold at least 50% of the paid-up capital of the foreign company, or, together with other resident taxpayers, hold at least 50% of the paid-up capital. Oh my, down bot. I know you want to earn money real quick. You gotta slow down a little bit. This applies only if the foreign company does not trade its shares on the stock exchange. If no dividends are declared or derived from the offshore company, the resident taxpayer must calculate and report the deemed dividends in his tax return. Otherwise, the Ministry of Finance will do so. The dividend is deemed to be derived from either in the 4th month of following deadline for filing tax returns in the offshore country, or 7th month under the offshore company tax year's end if the country does not have a specific tax filing deadline. Disclosure requirements. Taxpayers must provide certain information regarding their transfer pricing transactions with related parties in an attachment to their annual tax returns. The information will be maintained by the tax authorities and may be tested by tax auditors in the course of tax audit. Administrations and compliance. Tax years. The tax year is generally a calendar year. A corporate taxpayer can elect a file to corporate tax return based on the book year. Consolidated tax returns. Consolidated tax returns are not permitted. Each company must file a separate return. Tax filing requirements. Tax collection operates under a self-assessment system, with a tax due to the 15th day of the calendar month following the tax assessment month. Tax returns, as opposed to the actual tax payment, must be filed by the 20th of the following month. Annual corporate tax returns must be filed within 4 months of the end of the book year. Annual employment income tax returns filed by the employer must be filed by the 31st March of the following year. Penalties. Penalties vary depending on the situations, such as late tax payment, late filing, tax underpayment, and voluntary amendment of returns. The most common penalty is 2% monthly interest on the tax underpaid. Rulings. The Minister of Finance and Director of General Taxation who may issue rulings on certain cases, such as determination of debt-to-equity ratios or the tax effects of proposed transaction. Indonesia VAT rates. The standard rates of VAT in Indonesia is 10%. However, the tax rate may be increased or decreased to 15% or 5% according to government regulations. VAT is the general rate of 10% is imposed on importers, manufacturers, wholesalers, and retail and on the provision of most services. While the VAT laws permit amendments to the rates of individual items, currently the product of the rate other than 10% are cigarettes and used cars. Services such as package deliveries and Travel agents are taxed at 1%, while factoring is imposed at 5% on the fees received. Exports are effectively excluded from the VAT by being subject to zero tax rate. VAT is payable by the 15th month following the relevant transaction. Monthly tax returns must be submitted by the 20th of the following month. In the case of certain services rendered by non-residents of Indonesia, the recipients of these services has an obligation to self-assess, report, and pay any import VAT by the 15th of the following month. And that is what happens when you pay for taxes as an American in Indonesia. I think I will end this around now. Okay. Let's go. Pop. Wait. Let me disappear real quick. Okay. Wait, it's still actually. Pop. Okay. Everybody to be like, doing it again? Yeah. No advice for tax evasion? No. I gotta commit to what I promised. Yeah. Well, the tax evasion tip is to move to Wonderland. Move to Wonderland, live here, and then you can evade taxes because we don't need to pay for taxes in Wonderland. Okay, let's do the reading. Okay. Can I give you a little auto? Should I continue doing the auto thank you? I'll do an auto thank you for you guys. Wait here. I'll do I'll go back into the voice and everything. Let's go back. Let's do a special super chat reading today. Okay. Get in the mood. Kusajama, I heard SC are part of taxes, so here you go. Thank you, Kusajama. Mateo, this is for Elden Ring. I was trying to calculate taxes, but I couldn't remember if you play on console or PC. It is on sale on Steam, plus I'm not good at math, so here you go. Thank you, Mateo, for the 69.69. And Kusajama, here to add on more to your tax problem. Thank you, Kusajama. Thomas, this is a trap from the IRS of all of you not paying. Escape while you still can. Or do you really want to escape? Maybe you want to escape to Wonderland. Thank you, Thomas. Kumatanium. Now I see why Anon is doing this stream. It was a deal from the IRS. Everyone hide your money and yourself in a cave of internet. Do you really wanna hide? Do you really wanna hide from the IRS? Thank you, Kumatanium. Mwah. Panda Man. Hi, IRS. Sorry, I haven't been paying my taxes. Here you go. Thank you, Panda Man. Mwah. Thomas. Never pay your taxes. My final message. Goodbye. Thank you, Thomas, for the akasupa. Mwah. 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 And mwah. Tony. Kami-sama. For the advice, arigato gozaimasu. Thank you, Tony. Mwah. Oh, look. It seems that you guys can't see what's happening over here.
Paying my Wonderland tax with late interest fee. Poop.
Electro Shadow Angel. You can launch this really dirty thing. I prefer not to, but thank you, Electro Angel, Shadow Angel. Mwah. Not Anon, just no devoted apostle. Thank you for the very empty blue. Super. Mwah. Forte. Thank you, Forte. Mwah. Chunky Cone. Thank you, Chunky Cone. Mwah. Mystic Tony. Oh, some of this is a little bit cut off. Let me extend it a little bit more. Mystic Tony. Thank you, Mystic Tony. Mwah. Rocky. Paying my Wonderland tax with late interest rate fee. Oh, don't make it dirty here, Rocky. Thank you, Rocky. Mwah. Where's the poo? Who knows? We don't do anything dirty here. Okay. Now that we got it done, let's find out who to raid, shall we? Who should we raid now? Oh dear, let me just get over there. And find out who's still on live. There's Cujo Ringo. And seems like that is it. I guess there's no one else that I can see on at the moment. Okay then. Oh wait, Naki is also on. Let's raid Naki-chan, shall we? Naki's playing Stray. Yo, ikuzo. It's time for the IRUSI raid. Let me get all nice and prepared. Okay, are you guys ready? It's time to get into that IRUSI over at Naki's channel. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all sometime soon. Bye bye. Mwah. Oh, Mogak. Very creative ASMR stream. Awesome first impression. Thank you, Mogak. I'm glad you enjoy it. Mwah. Thank you for coming by. And now, I'll see you all next time. Otsu no na. Bye bye.